Hello, this is the Reflect&Connect talking about the J.W. Pepper article as well as the Jennifer Rogers article, both being about classroom management. It's a good way of describing it. One is more of a broad overview, while the other is more into specifics. The broad overview being J.W. Pepper and the specifics being the Jennifer Rogers. A couple things mentioned in the J.W. Pepper, pardon me, is, excuse me again, as part of classroom management, you have to set clear expectations for your students. Consistently reinforcing like simple instruction and rules help students know what's expected of them in a rehearsal or in class. Visual and verbal cues, fostering a positive environment, engaging students, that sort of stuff. This being overall very just like do this, do that, while not necessarily going into the how to do that, or like the what to do with this. Like it's giving like a you should do this, but not a this is what you should do to accomplish this, but whatever. That was pretty insightful, and it's definitely what we've been talking about in class, especially in like second and elementary methods too, more so with classroom management. But even now, in secondary methods, is kind of like making sure the students stay on course, making sure the students like know what's expected of them, being able to just like address problems like proactively, managing noise levels, just being like not a parental figure, but being someone who's like, hey, being a teacher, being a strong-willed but not necessarily disciplinary teacher. Yeah, in the Jennifer Rogers article, get more detailed approach. Mentioned establishing routines in the day. Stuff like entering the classroom, setting up instruments, and like transitions, making sure students know what they are supposed to do so that it's all easier for you and for them, and so you have more time to do stuff. I mentioned building a positive relationship, like showing that you care about your students, acknowledging mistakes that they make, and making sure the students are like recognized for their efforts goes a long way to supportive learning environment, to support a supportive learning environment. I also mentioned the curriculum and planning, the Jennifer Rogers one. You have to make sure you have an appropriate curriculum for your students, be at the age level or skill level of your students. Also plan for various learning styles, and activities to prevent disruptions, or how to go about minimizing disruptions, bringing them back on course, and also establishing the different rules and consequences that each student should kind of acknowledge, like clear expectations, appropriate consequences, modeling desired behaviors, like be how you want your students to be, sort of thing. I wanted to talk about like the both of them, like comparatively, like they both really kind of emphasize the importance of a structured routine and clear expectations. I mentioned one is more specific than the other, but the other one talks about more like the broad and stuff. Both articles advocate. They both really like kind of talk in a positive way about clear rules and consistent consequences. I think that's something that's kind of like not necessarily like looked upon that much. But on the same side of that, the Rogers article underscores the importance of understanding the cause of the disruptive behavior for said consequences. Both articles talk about clear routines, expectations, positive environment. One is more specific than the other, but they both can get the message across seamlessly. So, that's all.